Yes, did you call me here?
Is this the
To
same
sit
person
with this snake who went to my ex-husband's house?
Were you
Which year? Which year did I? Which year did I answer? Don't you? Where we are? Which year did I?
Woo!
Are you mad?
Whoa!
Which year are you mad?
You are mad.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Guys, come closer, come closer, come closer. There's a lot to analyze about this particular episode. There's a lot. There's a lot. Now, remember, in previous episodes, yeah, Caroline has had a lot to say about how Dabota betrayed her, how Dabota hurt her, right? Now, let's still keep in mind the fact that there's also Dabota's beach resort incident, right? That whole Sophia involving Diadem as well, defending Dabota. That whole situation is still in the background, right? But now the whole drama sort of shifted to Caroline and Dabota, yeah? And this is an age-old beef that's been festering for the longest time. You know what they say about a wound that's left unattended to, a wound that's been left to fester, it becomes infested with disease, right? At the moment, it might seem as though Dabota's betrayal of Caroline has festered. It has festered and it has now birthed some sort of bitterness towards Dabota from Caroline, yeah? And hey, I will still maintain that however Caroline feels towards Dabota, it is valid because she alone knows what exactly Dabota did to her. Because as far as I'm concerned, I feel like this thing between these two people, it's deeper than we think. It's deeper than we think. So I'm not even going to try to solve the riddle at all because it is beyond me. It's beyond you. It's beyond all of us. We are just spectators in this whole drama, yeah? But now, back to the drama that's happening on the show. Guys, there's been quite a lot of revelations on this particular episode. And so I'm not going to drag you to the final scene where Dabota and Caroline, they had that... I don't know what it was because the camera kind of went on a black mode. So we could not really see if Caroline broke a glass on Dabota's head or what happened. We don't know. Yeah. But let's take it from the very beginning. Yeah. Let's take it from the top. So first, beginning with Sophia. It's very obvious that Sophia has been uncomfortable, with this whole beef between herself and Caroline and really had the intentions to make peace. Also looking at the fact that whenever Caroline has things to say about Dabota, you can tell from Sophia's body language that she's not just that person. She's not that kind of person. She's not comfortable. She does not feel comfortable just being there, not really understanding the genesis of their issue and not really wanting to be a part of it. So for her, it's about giving Dabota a chance, for them to have a conversation so that she can get to know Dabota more. And if possibly, or rather, if possible, they can also squash their beef, right? And so she had called Dabota to check in on her to know why she couldn't make their her wine tasting event she had where she had made that announcement to the ladies that she was inviting them to Ghana, right? And Dabota had actually lied that, something happened, but she had actually admitted during her confessionals that she just did not want to be around the ladies, yeah? But Sophia had also taken that opportunity to invite Dabota to Ghana, and I love the reason she gave. Yeah, she said because she does not want Dabota to feel like a plus one. Because remember, that was what Dabota had insulted her with at her beach resort. Yeah, that Sophia was just a plus one. And so she has no right to complain about anything, that anything she was offered at the event, because she was not directly invited, she had no right whatsoever to complain. And so, according to Sophia, she wanted to be gracious, right? Put away the petty bone and give a direct invitation to Dabota. And I really admired that about her because it shows maturity, right? It shows maturity. It shows some level of growth and elevation because we don't all have to pay tit for tat, right? Sometimes it's fun, sometimes be the bigger person and just forget about it. And Sophia really proved herself to be the very, very bigger person on this episode because you can tell that she went all out to ensure that Dabota and Diadem, they had the time of their life, that they had a fun experience, that they were treated well, they were given very good rooms, they were put together, because they love being together as friends. They had a view of the pool, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Their room had, a lounge? Like, I think it had a lounge. Guys, very hospitable. That is how it should be. That is what a host should do. And yes, we understand that with Dabota's event at the beach resort. We understand that because of how that place is structured and arranged, Sophia could not possibly have had a room with a view of the beach, right? But what would have been expected, or what would have been better off as an explanation from Dabota, would have been a proper and gentle explanation as to why Sophia got the room facing the trash. But instead, we saw how Dabota was very high-handed with the whole issue. She was very uncouth, she was very ill-mannered and very unwelcoming, kind of hostile for a host towards Sophia. And so I really want to give accolades to Sophia, give her all her flowers for being very gracious, for, being merciful. Let's use that word, for being merciful as well, because some people would have decided to bring out the demonic pettiness in them, and would have really wanted to show Dabota that, listen, girl, I can actually play this game with you. But she did not do that, Also coupled with the fact that she flew out all the ladies in a private jet, all of them drinking champagne, drank champagne, the party bus, got to the villa, they were still drinking champagne, and of course, Dabota and Diadem screaming the loudest, having the most fun, Guys, I'm going to be right with you. Sophia indeed is the bigger person. Yeah. But in a way, it was kind of distasteful because Dabota and Diadem, they were complaining the most about the size of the jet. And I'm like, well, it's still a private jet. You people did not fly economy to Ghana. Somebody paid for a private jet. We don't know if she owns it this time around. We don't know, but she paid for a private jet. And according to Caroline's estimation, Sophia was probably spending about $50,000. Guys, that's a lot of money. do the conversion yourself. That's a lot of money, So I found it distasteful that they were making a lot of comments, especially what's her name, Diadem, complaining that, oh my God, the plane was shaking. I'm like, well, sister, you could have easily said that you wanted to fly economy to Ghana. There was no need for all of that comment. But guys, we're going to pause here on Sophia's graciousness and being an excellent host. Let's go back to the conversation between Dabota and Laura. Now, just like Sophia, who had the intentions to get to know Dabota better, clear the air and possibly make peace with her with regards to all that has transpired between both of them in the short period of time that they have gotten to, be acquainted. Laura had the same intentions and had invited Dabota to lunch. And for a moment, I was kind of worried that the conversation might not go well, but it actually did. And I don't know if you all have noticed, ladies and gentlemen, it might seem as though that these ladies bond over gossip a lot. Yeah. I mean, watch carefully. You will notice that a lot of times people use other people's issues or gossip to settle their rift. And it happened twice on this episode. I'll explain. And the first one is in this same conversation between Laura and Dabota, right? But first, the beginning of the conversation, the two ladies, they established that they don't actually give a fuck about the other person. Yeah. And I love the fact that they actually made it clear to each other. The thing was almost like a back and forth. I don't really care about you. You're not even in my space. You're never in my circle. Your name doesn't even want to come up. each trying to make the other understand that, listen, no matter what you think you are, you cannot, like, you're not big enough to roll in my circle. And I kind of found it funny because, ladies and gentlemen, your bigness, has it changed the price of fuel in Nigeria? But yeah, whatever. That's just by the way. Now, according to Dabota, the bone of contention she has with Laura is still connected to her sister's blog, Linda Ikeji's blog. And guys, you see, if Laura is not careful, the way she carries her sister's matter on her head, it's probably going to get her into a bigger trouble. And it's not a curse, but I've noticed that whenever if people have issues with Laura, it's always connected to her sister's blog. It is not because Laura is a problematic person, not necessarily so, right? Okay, at the initial stage of the entire show, right, in the first season, she was kind of problematic, but it's more about the way she uses a lot of energy to fight for her sister. I mean, I would love to fight for the people I love, but Laura does it a lot. But anyways, according to Dabota, you know that whole fiasco that happened, where there was a scandal about the paternity of her child. Laura's sister had used that blog to tell a lot of tall tales about that whole situation, and Dabota did not like it. It had really caused her a lot of harm. It had traumatized her, right? And according to her, she had sent a mutual friend called Sylvia to Laura or them, to help them, to talk to them to stop with the slander, right, and the defamation. And the reply she got was that, when she was receiving all the spotlight, all the attention, when she was receiving all the highlights, she did not complain. Now it's this one she's complaining about. Now, according to Dabota, that was the last straw that broke the camel's back for her, because it's like, I'm sending someone that knows both of us to beg you people, but look at what you, Laura, is saying, right? And according to her, every time she sees Laura, it brings back her trauma. And Laura was quite shocked because, according to her, she doesn't know this Sylvia. They've never had a conversation. She doesn't even have the person's number. She doesn't even know who this person is. And such comments never came from her side. So she doesn't know what this person is talking about. And Dabota found it sort of unbelievable. But because of the way Laura was shouting, she even got up like, whoa, no, I never ever said that, But finally, Dabota said during her confession, I was like, okay, because of Laura's reaction, she's going to give her that benefit of doubt that person was lying, that Laura did not say XYZ. Now, just when I thought that they were going to settle their differences and move on to other conversations, Laura decided to bring up all the things that Caroline has been saying about Dabota, which is what I meant when I said that these ladies, it seems like they enjoy, settling their beef and solidifying friendship using other people's issues in the group, other people's gossip in the group. And that was exactly what Laura did. I don't know what you guys are going to call it, but that was how I felt. That was what I saw. She brought up the conversation like, Caroline has been saying this about you, and Dabota gave her own explanation. According to Dabota, she and Caroline had actually had a sit-down conversation. I mean, I don't know how true it is, right? But she said that whole situation, that first of all, the Sayavet is her friend, her sister. She was was it the planner? Yeah, she was the planner of Caroline's ex's birthday, that Dabota had received a direct invitation. So why should she not attend? That she had actually attended because she was directly invited. That, Caroline should get over this whole thing. She should get over her ex. She doesn't want to get over her ex, blah, 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 blah. She said a lot. And then she explained that Caroline had actually confronted her about it, and she had explained that they had squashed issues, and Caroline had said, that she actually misinterpreted the whole situation, that it's fine, that they had actually squashed their beef, which kind of made sense in my opinion. I don't know how true that is, but if that is what it is, it actually makes a lot of sense. However, if I am allowed to try to understand why Caroline actually feels betrayed, here's the excuse I will present, right? So could it be that Caroline feels betrayed because At around that time, according to her, that was the same time that Dabota was going through that whole ordeal with the internet, scandal about her marriage, her divorce, and the paternity of her child. And she had reached out to Dabota to give her support and solidarity, encouraged her, was there for her. And she was probably expecting that because of the support that she showed to Dabota, if Dabota had genuinely, like for real, received an invitation from her ex, to come for his birthday, maybe she was expecting that Dabota was going to let her know that, oh, I know you're not with this person anymore, but this person actually invited me. I just want to let you know that I am going to be attending the event. I know you probably might not be comfortable with it, but I'm actually attending. So could it be that that was what Caroline was expecting from Dabota? Could it be that Caroline feels betrayed because Dabota did not inform her and just went, and then she now had to reach out to question Dabota about it? Guys, I'm asking, like, could that be the case? If I was going to make an excuse for Dabota and for Caroline rather, that would be the only excuse I have. Anyways, that was just a question, guys. Let me know what you think about that, all right? Just let me know your thoughts. Now, back to what Dabota explained to Laura, that she and Caroline, they had already squashed that issue, right? It's now making me wonder, like, okay, did they really squash the issue? Because according to Caroline, she had reached out to Dabota and Dabota had been kind of rude and had blocked her. And so she could not really address the issue with Dabota. So the question now is, who is lying? Who do we believe? Because there's a lot of, I did this, I did this, I did this. And this other person is telling their own narrative. And because we were not there, we were not there 7 years ago when this whole thing was happening, we can't even judge. But guys, I don't know. This is a lot. Onto the Ghana trip. Frankly speaking, guys, I felt two ways about Caroline's attitude and behavior when the ladies left Nigeria for Ghana, right? Whilst they were in the private jet, whilst they were airborne. You see that whole tension, that whole drama, Caroline's confessionals, the way she was venting. She was obviously so irritated. She was angry. She was venting. And she called these ladies a lot of names. She was just angry. Now, the first way I felt like, okay, it's quite understandable because Dabota and Diiadem, they were quite excited, The energy they were giving, in a way, I also felt like, ladies, you people are like the most excited on this trip. If people had given Sophia this same grace during Dabota's beach resort event, that whole drama that happened would not have happened. For real. But now Sophia is so sweet, so welcoming and accommodating to you ladies, and if I felt like at some point, like she was really paying particular attention to these particular friends, Dabota and Diiadem, so that they will feel comfortable, no malice involved. So I understood where Caroline's anger was coming from. And in that regard, it was quite justified. Although you could tell that it was mixed with her own personal beef with Dabota, yeah? Now, the other way I felt like Caroline was a bit, like she was kind of portraying herself to be a hypocrite to some extent, right? Now, what do I mean? I'm not saying Caroline is a hypocrite. No. Remember, I've given my first way that I felt and how I understood where she was coming from, right? But you see the way she described Diadem as that friend that is always carrying Dabota's fight on her head. That was exactly what Caroline was portraying herself to be. The friend that is carrying the other person's fight on her head. Now, it does not mean she's spineless, she's a coward, she's boneless, blah, 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 blah. She has insecurities. No, Caroline is one of the most confident women I know on reality TV show, yeah. But you see the way she described Diadem as that's is it 2,500 naira bouncer that is always trying to defend Dabota. That was how she portrayed herself. Although she was giving passive aggression at the initial stage, of course, right? And I kind of felt bad for her. Why? Because Sophia completely detached herself from that drama. like you could tell that she genuinely wanted to make peace with Dabota and Diadem. So I now felt like, okay, Caroline, you are now making yourself look like the villain, on Sophia's behalf. I get it, you're upset, but the constant venting, the anger, the bony face, it's a lot. And I thought she was going to stop the whole negative energy in the private jet, right? But then when they got to the villa, and at the point where the ladies were drinking champagne, of course, Dabota too, she's very, very snaky with her jabs, because you see all those side comments that she was throwing at Caroline. Oh, let me not go and serve champagne. Now they say I poisoned somebody. She was making that statement to Caroline, and she was quite intentional about provoking Caroline as well, right? I mean, the negative energy was mutual between both of them, her pouring the champagne for the other ladies, but finishing every last drop and not remaining some in that same bottle for Caroline. That was quite petty. So the negativity between both of them was quite mutual. The only difference was that we were seeing more of Caroline's confessionals, right? So the energy was just so negative, and then Sophia going to share the ladies their rooms, and Caroline was still venting and venting to Mariam. I felt like Mariam was just the wrongest person that Caroline was venting to. Because I don't know if Caroline has noticed. Anyways, they've already shot every episode, so it's too late right now, right? But I just wished that Caroline could see that Mariam is just not that person you want to tell about your beef this season, because she's two-faced. Mariam is two-faced. Mariam is acting like a coward this season. She doesn't want to inherit beef. She doesn't want to involve herself in any beef. Even when she knows who is wrong, she does not have the balls to tell that person to their face. She's quite two-faced. And Caroline knows. So I was just so frustrated. Like, Caroline, you know that Mariam is not going to have your back. If you just want to vent, but don't expect Mariam to take your side in this whole thing, because Mariam was not being forthcoming. She was not being honest about the whole situation as well. Even though, to be fair, she did not really have the full details. Like, she wasn't there when this whole 7-year-old beef happened between Dabota and Caroline. Yeah, I justify her on that one, but we know that Mariam has been two-faced this entire season. As I was saying, ladies and gentlemen, I totally understood where Caroline's anger was coming from, and the reasons she gave was quite valid. Dabota was very mean to Sophia at the beach resort. She was very mean, and unapologetically so. Even up until when she and Sophia had the so-called reconciliation conversation as engineered by Sophia, I was so pissed. I was irritated because Dabota was unapologetic. She did not want to take accountability for her actions. She kept on going around and around in circles. She kept on pushing all the blame to Sophia, talking about your manner of approach, timing. I'm like, Dabota, rest on this one. You lost this one because you are at fault. You were a very nasty host. You were mean. You were very cruel. You were unapologetic about it. Just own up to your mistake, But we'll get to that part, right? But as I was saying about Caroline, I totally understood, right? Because of the way Caroline and Diadem, they were so excited. Look at the welcome package that Sophia gave to these people. And then Dabota was on this, yes, my darling, yes, sweetheart, paro with Sophia. And I'm like, they've carried you on private jet. They have given you plenty champagne. They've given you a whole fruit buffet, giving you a whole massive room with a view, of course, and treated you like a queen that you say that you are. And now you have seen that it doesn't take anything to be a great host. Well, what would it have taken away from you, Dabota, if you had actually extended the same grace to Sophia at the beach resort? But anyways, that was that one. Now, to the conversation between Sophia and Dabota. Sophia really, genuinely wanted them to bury the hatchet, resolve their differences. But as I mentioned before, Dabota was just very annoying. She was very annoying, guys. I was asking myself, Glory, how would you feel in such a conversation with someone that is just very unapologetic about the way they were rude and disrespectful to you, the way they belittled you, like how would you really feel? Because I just felt like Dabota was just, nah, you don't do that. You don't do that. At least own up to your own mistake. And again, Dabota lied that Caroline was not keeping in touch. And it was so shameful when she opened her chats with Caroline and was showing Sophia, like Sophia was blind, like us the viewers are blind. And Sophia was actually saying, but these are the videos she sent you when we're in my boat. This was the video she sent. This was the call she called you. This was the video. This was the message. Everything was right there. So I was now wondering, like, okay, Dabota, what were you trying to prove? Because she was still adamant that Caroline was not messaging, like was not communicating. I'm like, I don't understand, but everything is right there. All the receipts are there. What are you talking about? So guys, I'm going to be frank with you. Dabota was just she was annoying. I'm not going to lie. She was annoying in that conversation. She was very, very annoying. The way she was using so much pride. And you could tell that her ego did not want her to apologize. I remember she said it in episode 1 that she never apologizes to anybody. Yeah. So in a way, I wasn't really surprised because you could tell that her ego is just so big. It's big. It's massive. Even though she carried herself. I'm not like Dabota, calm down. I kind of felt bad for Sophia because I'm like, girl, well, you tried your best. And you see, it was when the conversation was going on that Caroline walked in. Now, this was the part that Sophia messed up big time. And guys, we're going to call a spade right now. Let's call a spade. You see that thing Sophia did when she continuously, was calling on Caroline to talk to Dabota. That was wrong on all levels. If you like Caroline that much and you people are building a friendship, what I expected Sophia was to do was, if you tried the first time to get Caroline to talk to Dabota, you tried the second time and Caroline is still telling you, no, she's good, drop it. Those women are not babies. They are not kids. They are grown adults. They are mothers. They've been married before. They are adults. They are strong women. They are business owners. They are not babies. To some extent, they've gotten exposure. They've gotten life's experiences. They know the issue that they have. Sophia, you were not there. You don't know how much Caroline was hurt by Dabota and vice versa. So it's not in your place to continue to try to force peace or force a conversation. And I felt like that was exactly what Sophia was doing. She was trying to force a conversation to happen. And it was quite triggering. Even me as a viewer, I was offended. I said, Sophia, drop it. At some point, it felt like she was kind of trying to instigate something. And that was what it resulted into. If they want to talk to each other, they would talk. If they don't want to talk, they will not talk. And you see, it also kind of painted Caroline in a bad light because Carolyn has obviously been complaining to Sophia that, okay, this is what Dabota did, this is what Dabota did. So the way she kept on trying to push Caroline to talk to Dabota, it felt like she wanted her to make the first move. And I felt like, no, when she's ready to talk about it, they will talk about it. Just like you now, you called Dabota first before the other ladies arrived to settle your differences. That's mature. Allow these women to talk about it when they want to. So I felt like she really pushed Caroline. And Caroline was in her right to be upset, as she mentioned during her confessional. You don't push a grown woman like that. And it now gave Dabota this kind of power that, oh yes, I am the good egg here. Caroline is the bad egg. She's the coward. Even the way she was carrying herself, like, yes, I'm the good one, I'm the good one. And I'm thinking, Sophia, you don't do that to someone that you're building a friendship with. You made Caroline look bad. You made her look like she's the bad person. You made her look like she is the one that has a problem. And you were wrong to do that because you were not there when they had their issues. None of us were there. So when they are ready to squash it, they will squash it. And even when Dabota was talking, and Sophia was now quiet. Guys, that situation was just awkward. Yeah, it was just awkward. And I just felt like Sophia, probably unknowingly or knowingly, I don't know, but it felt like she unknowingly put Caroline in a bad spot. And yes, I know that a lot of you are going to say that, oh, and because Caroline has been the one complaining about what Dabota did to her, that was an opportunity for her to say it. Oh, because she didn't talk, she's a coward. No, they are adults. When they are ready to talk about it, when Caroline is ready to talk about it, she will talk about it. Or maybe she wanted Dabota to bring it up first and then she will respond, fine. But I felt like Sophia played a very huge role in aggravating that whole situation. In fact, she stirred the pot in that situation. She stirred the pot. But then at the end of the day, we know that it's a reality TV show and the show can never be complete without some drama. So at the same time, just as I am lashing Sophia for what she did, I'm also thanking her for what she did, because if she did not do that, Caroline would still have been complaining about Dabota, and then there would be no confrontation at the end of the day, But then when we talk about confrontation, we know that we love it when these women fight with their mouth and not with their hands. So I do not know what exactly happened. None of us knows, because the cameras blanked out, right? But Caroline breaking a glass, I hope it wasn't on Dabota's head. Yeah, that was not nice, because remember, that was what Toyin did last season. Was it last season or in season 1, where she actually broke stuff? No, I think she laid her hands on Mariam, and we really judged her for it. Guys, we don't like violence. We love the show, we love the drama, but we do not like violence. We do not condone violence over here. We believe in fighting with your mouth, but not with your hands, all right? So ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to stop talking here right now, because I feel like this video has been lengthy enough, because I would love to hear from all of you as well. So please go ahead, share your thoughts in the comment section below. I'll see you guys on another episode of Frankly Speaking with Gloria Elijah. Thanks for watching. Have a fantastic evening. Bye.